In this video, I will guide you through the process of creating a Telegram bot from scratch. First, I will create a technical task that the chatbot will understand, and then I will build the bot using the GP3. The bot I will be creating is one that I have previously tested and will now demonstrate how to recreate. The bot will integrate with the OpenAI API, which has functionality such as code, ESC, image, and translation through Google. To create the bot, I will type in my requirements and ask Chat to create a technical task for them. Please note that this may not be a very professional task, suitable for developing large systems such as SIEM or software with complex functions. But it is completely sufficient for simple bots and undemanding products. It is an ideal solution for such tasks. As we can see, Chat has started to create a task for my bot. Let's see how my requirements for creating the bot are written down. It creates a technical task in an expanded form and more professionally. We see that the Telegram bot will be connected to the API, integrated, and will have a bug fix and security feature. I will choose and copy the 7 items I need, write down the next task, and press enter. What we see is usually Chat writes that it is a module and will explain what is needed to create a chatbot, but it will not prescribe it. So, what I will teach and explain at the presentation is how to effectively communicate with Chat so that it creates these functions without problems with requests. Recently, a stop generation button became available, which is a very useful option. If I see that ChatGPT is not prescribing what I need, I will suspend it and write the requirements in part. I need this item. The first paragraph is not relevant, but this one is really important. I copy this clause, write the following on the line, then paste this clause. A 50-50 option is possible here. Either ChatGPT will agree to it and I will start writing, or it will say no, and I will show what to do next. In this case, it agreed. But if it would answer no in such situations, it is necessary to write the command. Show me an example, or show me an example of code, such and such without token such. Without tokens. Why is this important? Because when we say, write a code for me, it sometimes answers, no, I don't have tokens. I can't make a code because you don't have tokens, etc. What we see is that it has already prescribed some base for our bot. What do we do next? Next, I specify the commanded function and see if it adds it. Let's wait until it finishes the code. Okay, that's all finished. Now we ask for the following, and insert the previously copied points. He immediately agreed to it. Okay, only for some reason it added the code. Okay, let's wait for it to finish writing completely. Although I already see that the code is not complete because it should start like this with this fragment. I'm not a programmer, but I know that it should start like this. There should be APIs, but we see that it did not add them. It created only this. Okay, now let's write the next command. Most likely it will write, I'm sorry. No, that's all. Okay, great. Sometimes it can write, I'm sorry, I can't provide the full code. But maybe something has changed in the algorithm itself, and this problem no longer occurs now that we have the basic structure of the code. We can move on to the next step of the process. This includes testing the code, making sure that it is functional and that all of the requirements are met. After that, we can deploy the bot to Telegram and make it available for use. It's important to note that this process is not a one-time thing. As with any software, the bot will require ongoing maintenance and updates to ensure that it continues to function properly and meet the needs of users. This may include fixing bugs, adding new features, or making improvements to the user interface. In conclusion, creating a Telegram bot using ChatGPT and the OpenAI API is a relatively simple and straightforward process. With the right approach and effective communication with ChatGPT, you can create a functional and useful bot that meets your specific needs. As always, it is important to test, debug, and maintain your bot as you go along. It's also important to keep in mind that while ChatGPT is a powerful tool, it's not a substitute for human knowledge and expertise. For example, if you're not familiar with the Telegram API, you'll need to do some research and learn about how it works in order to properly integrate your bot with it. Additionally, if you have specific requirements for your bot that are not covered by the OpenAI API, you'll need to find other ways to implement them. Another thing to keep in mind is that there may be limitations to what ChatGPT can do, especially when it comes to creating complex systems or software with complex functions. In such cases, it may be necessary to seek the help of a professional developer or a team of developers to implement your bot. Finally, it's important to note that the examples provided in this video are for demonstration purposes only and may not be fully functional. If you want to create a Telegram bot, you need to be familiar with programming languages, APIs, and Telegram API and its functionality. In summary, creating a Telegram bot using ChatGPT and OpenAI API can be a useful and efficient way to build simple bots. But it's important to remember that it's not a substitute for human knowledge and expertise, and it may have limitations for more complex systems. It's also important to keep in mind that you need to be familiar with programming languages, APIs, and Telegram API and its functionality. Additionally, it's important to be aware of the ethical considerations when creating a bot. You should always make sure that your bot is compliant with relevant laws and regulations and that it does not infringe on any user's rights or privacy. You should also consider the potential impact of your bot on society and the environment. Another thing to keep in mind is that ChatGPT is a machine learning model, and it's important to understand the limitations of these models in terms of bias and errors. It is important to validate, evaluate, and test the model output to reduce the risk of errors. In conclusion, creating a Telegram bot using ChatGPT and OpenAI API can be a powerful tool to build simple bots and can save time and resources. But it's important to remember that it's not a substitute for human expertise, and it may have limitations for more complex systems. It's also important to keep in mind the ethical considerations, compliance with laws and regulations, and the limitations of the model. Always make sure to validate, evaluate, and test the model output to reduce the risk of errors.